The wind howled like a banshee, tearing at the meager scraps of cloth that barely kept the biting cold at bay. It had been 3 days since the storm hit, 3 days since I'd last seen the sun. My supplies were dwindling. A few half-rotten carrots, a single stack of logs barely enough to keep the fire going, and a growing, gnawing fear in my gut. Euro deep and foolish, venturing so far from my base. Now, trapped in this desolate wasteland, I was battling not just the elements, but a creeping dread that whispered of icy claws and shadowy figures lurking just beyond the torchlight. Survival wasn't just about food and shelter. It was about facing the cold, hard reality of being utterly alone. My fingers, stiff and numb, fumbled with the crafting table. The meager remains of my supplies offered little comfort. The wind rattled the windows of my hastily constructed snow shelter, a flimsy defense against the relentless onslaught of the blizzard. Each gust felt like a monstrous claw, trying to rip my sanctuary apart. My thoughts drifted to warmer days, to the sun on my skin, to the comforting glow of a well-stocked chest. The memory only served to amplify my current despair, a cruel reminder of my perilous situation. The night was young, and the wilderness was vast and unforgiving. The howl pierced the silence, a chilling sound that sent shivers down my spine. It wasn't the howl of a lone wolf. It was a chorus, a symphony of predatory intent echoing through the snow-laden mountains. Every shadow seemed to ride with menace. Every rustle of the wind hinted at unseen dangers. My breath plumed in front of me, a fleeting testament to my dwindling warmth. I clutched my wooden sword, its smooth surface a poor substitute for the comforting weight of a reliable weapon. Survival in this winter of terror wasn't just about skill, it was about sheer will. The fire crackled and popped, casting dancing shadows on the rough-hewn walls of my makeshift shelter. It was a small victory, a fragile bubble of warmth in a sea of ice and snow, but even this meager comfort was fleeting. The wood was running low, and the cold continued its relentless assault. I felt a bone-deep weariness settling in, the kind that steals your strength and saps your will. Sleep beckoned, promising oblivion, but sleep meant vulnerability, a risk I wasn't sure I could afford. My stomach growled, a hollow echo in the silence. The last of my carrots, a pitiful offering against the gnawing hunger. The meager food offered little sustenance, but it was enough to stave off the most desperate pangs. I closed my eyes, picturing a warm bed, a hearty meal, the comfort of human contact. The images felt like distant dreams, as unreal as the sun hidden behind the relentless snow. Driven by desperation, I plunged into the blizzard, seeking refuge in the frantic task of chopping down trees. Each swing of my axe was a desperate fight against the cold, a struggle for survival. The snow piled high, obscuring my vision, making each movement a challenge. Yet, I pressed on, driven by a primal need to survive the coming night. The woods seemed to mock my efforts, their snowy branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. With dwindling daylight and my wood pile almost depleted, I had no choice. The cave entrance, shrouded in shadows and mystery, offered a potential sanctuary from the storm's fury. Fear wrestled with necessity, and I knew that even the darkness inside might be preferable to the icy grip of the blizzard. This was a gamble, a desperate roll of the dice in my fight for survival. Relief washed over me as my eyes caught the glimmer of coal and wood deep within the cave. It wasn't a fortune, but it was enough to fuel the fire, enough to ward off the cold for a few more precious hours. Suddenly, my exhaustion felt less debilitating. Hope, a fragile but potent thing, flickered within my chest. The fire roared in the cave, casting flickering shadows on the rough stone walls. The warmth spread through me, chasing away the bone-chilling cold that had threatened to overwhelm me. The blizzard raged outside, a relentless beast, but inside the cave I found a hard-won peace. I was alive, for now, but I knew the struggle was far from over. The winter of terror was still far from its end. The first rays of dawn pierced the darkness, painting the snow-covered landscape in soft, warm colors. The storm had passed, leaving behind a world transformed, breathtaking in its icy beauty. The ordeal had left its mark: exhaustion, hunger, and a deep understanding of vulnerability. But I survived. I stood, a testament to the human spirit's resilience, ready to face whatever challenges this new day might bring.